Has not been such a good idea either. Good morning, everyone. I am Gilbert Carmona. The program is Gilbert Talks Taxes. I'm an enrolled agent. An enrolled agent is a person enrolled. My authority comes from the IRS. We're enrolled with the Internal Revenue Service. I represent taxpayers. I do tax returns. I solve tax problems. I help with financial planning, tax planning, business planning. Pretty much if it involves taxes, I'm all about it. And Todd, my engineer, has a look on his face. Good morning, Todd.
Morning.
Are we okay? We are on the air.
Got a COVID exposure app.
We got. Oh, is that what we're having now? Okay, we're having technical but Todd's on it. That's the thing. It's all resolved, and we are on the internet, live streaming at www.wcab59.com. Good morning, everybody. You're seeing me in my vintage Paisley DT tie. How about that, huh? I'm at the age now where I don't have old clothes. I have vintage clothes. Yes, I don't wear old suits. I wear vintage suits. Yeah, oh yeah. So, to serious notes, there's a lot happening this week in taxes. It's been a pretty major week. I'm going to get into all of that shortly. If you need to reach me, now you can call here. Call the studio. And Todd, I'm going to get this number right. What line do you want me to call in on? D33? You want to call? Okay, so call 828. 287-3356. Call that line, and my able-bodied staff will take your message and they'll bring it to me. We're already piling them up here. We've already got the messages piled up here. I'm going to get into that in 1 second. If you need to reach me, my office number is 828-289-9300. I have an office here at 113 Whitesides Road in Rutherfordton, right next to Southern Baptist Church. My other office is in Tryon, the beautiful Art Deco building at 226 South Trade Street, right off the historic downtown Tryon. My email, Gilbert@GilbertTalksTaxes.com. Shoot me an email if you have a question. We are preparing tax returns. We are moving along. The clip is brisk, Todd, a brisk clip. And I don't even know how many tax returns the IRS has received already. But it is a huge volume they did. Much to everybody's surprise, the IRS already started releasing refunds. And these are the refunds that have child tax credit and earned income tax credit. So let me back up a little bit with the PATH Act. That was many years ago with the PATH Act. When the PATH Act was 5 years ago, 6 years ago? The PATH Act came out. We've had so many acts since then. It's hard to keep track of them all, but the PATH Act pretty much said it was an initiative to combat fake tax returns, ID theft tax returns, where somebody is claiming children that they shouldn't be claiming statuses that they shouldn't be claiming to get a refund, because it actually created like a run to whoever filed it first would get it. So scammers knew that, and as soon as the IRS portal opened up, they would be filing these tax returns and making then the subsequent filings of the people who really should have been claiming those children void. And then you had the paper file, and it just became a mess. So they thought that they would stem that a little bit by making all tax returns that had child tax credit or earned income tax credit or the additional child tax credit, holding all those tax returns for additional review, running them through an extra scrutiny and extra verification, and not releasing, actually not even start to process them till the end of February. And every year the date kind of moves. It's 28th, 27th, 26th, 29th of February on those leap year, because we've only had one since the act was in. But so, and they said it worked. They said the fraudulent filings came way down. So they were happy with it, and they kept doing it. So this year, the PATH Act date was February 27th. So on the 27th, today, they were actually going to start processing those returns, which meant you wouldn't be getting your refund for 2 weeks, right? 7 to 14 days after that. And if there was, and it could be as much as 21. And if there was some verification or some things, you'd be getting a letter. So it could actually make it a month till you got your money. Well, they've been releasing those. Those have been coming out now for all week. And what was really funny is people were calling me and telling me that my refund showed up in the bank like 3 weeks early from what you told me. And when I go to the IRS website, where's my refund? It says they're still processing my tax return. I said, yeah, no, that thing's useless. You don't even count on that. Just go ahead, take the money and enjoy it. You got it. So what it looks like they did is it looks like they were anticipating a backlog and started just releasing those things. I've been on the phone with agents, but about other matters. I've been meaning to ask them if they knew anything, but I've mostly been talking to agents about business things. So that's on the business side of the IRS. But so pleasant surprise. People are getting their money. South Carolina's been releasing refunds. I've gotten phone calls that people are getting their South Carolina refunds. That's actually started happening about 2 weeks ago. So South Carolina was chomping at the bit. Actually, the states were ready for January 27th, 28th filing date, which is the normal, usually it's somewhere between the 23rd to the 28th in January. The IRS held it back and pushed it to February 12th so that stimulus checks could be posted, people would be getting them. Even though you got those stimulus checks in 2021, they were for tax year 2020, and I'm going to get into that in a second because I've gotten some phone calls about that, and I actually had a question here today about it. So I'm going to get right into that in a minute, but let me finish this thought. So the IRS pushed it back to the 12th and said that's going to be the start of tax season. Now, we filed tax returns just like normal. We just kept filing tax returns. We kept sending them up to the server, and they just kind of sat there. Now, on the 10th, a lot of them went through, and we got acceptances on them. What I'm thinking is they were running tests. They run test batch early, and they just randomly pull stuff off the server, because I got quite a few back accepted and rejected. So there were some that were rejected. We had to fix them and resend them, whatever happens. So we sent those back. But then on the 12th, it was all of them. It was like a flood. Just we got acceptances all day. We were getting them in. And then here on the 24th, 25th, actually started about on the 23rd, which was that Tuesday. So 22nd was Monday, Tuesday. People started getting refunds, or people were calling me. I got a refund. Money's in the bank. Is this correct? Is this mine? Can I keep it? So yes, you can. It's yours. You can keep it. And it was a real pleasant surprise. Okay. Now, if you were chosen for verification, if you haven't gotten your refund yet, just sit and wait. A lot of people haven't. Sit and wait. If you're chosen for verification, you'll get a letter. Remember, the IRS will never call you. The IRS is not going to call you, and scammers know that there are people at home right now waiting for that refund. So they will call and say, I'm with the IRS. We're holding your refund. We need to verify your bank account. And people will actually give them their routing number and their account number over the phone. Todd, how many years? I've been doing this now for 7 years, and I've been saying the same thing every year. And every year people do it. This is on the IRS's website not to do this. The IRS will never call you. And then to verify that it's you, what's your social security number? And what's your date of birth? And the correct spelling of your last name? And it's like something turns off, all common sense turns off in their brain when they hear IRS and tax refund in the same sentence. They'll tell whoever's on the phone everything. It's like, what did you just do? I just had somebody in my office, and when I walked her through it, I said, you did this and you gave them your information? She goes, yeah. It's like, did you? She's like, well, all I heard was they weren't going to give me my refund. I said, you should have just hung up and called me. So don't even talk to people that call you claiming to be from the IRS. They are not. Or the state of North Carolina, or the state of South, or anybody like that, or any credit card or anything. They won't call you and ask you for your information. They already have it. They don't need it. Now, what happens if you have a bank account So you come in, I do your tax return, and you give me a bank account. Then you get home and you remember, oh, that's the wrong bank account. Once I've sent that thing through, it's gone. You can't call the IRS and change it. It's a fully automated system. No human eyes look at it until the computer kicks it out. So you give me the wrong bank account number, you give me a bank account number that's been closed, you give me a bank account number, whatever the situation is. You give me the wrong, a check from an account that's been closed for years. When the computer tries to put it through, the check through, the bank will reject it. When the bank rejects it, the IRS's computer automatically, it goes through some internal steps. It takes it a day or two, but it will automatically issue you a check to your address. It's very important you put the correct address or whatever mailing address you want on that tax return, because any letters, a check, potentially, if there's a problem with the bank, and that was the problem the IRS had with the stimulus checks, why they needed this extra 2 weeks. They accidentally deposited, they said it was accidental, I don't know, I think there was more to it than that, but they accidentally deposited, or tried to deposit millions of dollars in it was millions of dollars, actually it's billions of dollars, it's $600 per account. So they tried to deposit them in the wrong bank accounts. And then the system had to issue checks. So that was the big holdup. But the thing will automatically issue you a check that will come to you. The other thing that could happen is you get a letter where they are verifying you. Respond to that letter right away. If you're one of my clients listening to me and you get a verification letter, it's random. It was generated by the computer, or there was something that the computer wanted to verify. I've heard a lot of them are just random. Get that letter to me right away, or just do what it says on the letter. It's a simple process. You can go online to irs.gov. It'll tell you what to do in the letter, and you're just verifying the information. If they can't verify the information, then you have to make a phone call. You make a phone call. That just needs to be done. It's very common. A lot of people are getting this letter. So right after the verification process, you usually get your refund in a couple of weeks, or at least the ones I've been dealing with. They get it after a couple of weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks at the latest. Okay, now the question is, will we have to claim the stimulus checks and pay taxes on them as income? Okay, the answer is no, but it's a little more complicated, like everything else with the IRS. It's a little more complicated than just a simple answer. Okay, when you come to me, and I don't know what other preparers are doing, I will ask you, did you get the first stimulus check? And it should have been for this much money. Yes, no. Because if you didn't get it, then we put it on the tax return and we make the claim in the tax return. That's what the IRS wants us to do. So if you didn't get stimulus, you don't call the IRS. Tell them, hey, I didn't get it. You don't do that. And forget the stimulus payment tool. That's messed up. That's not giving. People are calling me complaining about that thing all day. So we put it on the tax return, but you're not being taxed on it. Okay? There is no tax for that stimulus. And states aren't taxing that stimulus, all except Oregon is taxing that stimulus. But none of the other states are taxing it. Okay? So unless you live in Oregon, it's tax-free money, federal and state. But we're putting it on the tax return, or at least if you didn't get it. So I'll ask you, did you get stimulus 1? And, husband, wife, 2 dependents, you should have gotten $3,400 for stimulus 1. $1,200, $1,200, $500, and $500. Okay, and that's dependents 16 and younger. Okay, you get that. Boom. So yes or no. You say, no, I didn't get it. Then we put a 0 there, and the computer will calculate how much you should have gotten, and it'll be claimed as a refund. Okay? Then we ask you about stimulus payment number 2. That's the one that just came out. The January, February stimulus was $600 per person, $600 for husband, wife, each $600 for every dependent under 16 and under. Okay? Todd, are you working on that technical difficulty right there?
EAS alert.
Okay, we're having an EAS alert here in the studio. What does that mean?
Emergency alert service.
Emergency alert service. What, because I'm talking about taxes? We're having an emergency alert. No, Oh, it's weather related.
But it could be a thing.
Okay. I thought maybe because I was, giving people good tax advice, they said he needs to stop that. So we put that on the tax return, and if you didn't get that, you're going to get it. Now, hence the problem that we're having, and the problem that we're going to have if there's another stimulus. People don't remember what happened. People for some reason, either that or they don't want to tell their preparer how much money they got, or they don't remember. So people are saying, I don't remember getting any money. And the preparer's asking them, are you sure you didn't get any money? And people are saying, no, I don't know. I didn't get any money. I don't remember getting any money. It seems to me I would have remembered getting $3,400. So the tax preparer is putting that. Now, I haven't had this happen at my office, but we're getting emails from the association and things that this is happening. So people will put on the tax return. I know, it just keeps going and going. People put on the tax return that they didn't get it. So they tell people, okay, you're going to get your refund is going to be whatever plus that stimulus money. Well, the IRS computer knows if you got it or not. So the IRS computer is not giving you that amount. And the people are going back to their preparers and saying, you told me I was going to get $5,000 and I only got $3,000. And they're very upset. Well, the preparers didn't explain to them this correctly. All we're doing is, you said you didn't get it, so we're putting it on there for you to get it. But ultimately, the IRS knows if you got it or not. So that's the problem we're having with, or that the industry's having with this. I haven't had it happen yet, although I've had a couple of people that say they don't remember, but they think they got it, so we're putting it down. It's going to be interesting to see how this all gets reconciled. But to answer the questions that I've been getting and the phone calls, no, it is not going to be taxed. That's not why we're putting it on the tax return. Okay, Todd, I think that's about all I want to talk about that. Let's go ahead and take a really quick break, and let's read what this alert was about. This is Gilbert Talks Taxes, WCAB AM 590, FM 100.9.
As we get ready for this year's tax season, there's one thought on everyone's mind. Will Gilbert's hair look fabulous this year? Oh, yes, it will. How can I say that? Because I go to Robin Saunders at RSL Salon. Whether it's a good haircut, a pedicure, or a manicure, you can count on RSL Salon. Call Robin at 828-289-9110 because everyone deserves to look fabulous. People come up to me and say, Gilbert, thank you for doing my tax return and thank you for getting me that big refund. Do you have any ideas what I can do with that refund? Oh, yes, I do. Take that refund right over to NC Tractor and Farm Supply, talk to Phil, get you a brand new shiny red Massey Ferguson. That's NC Tractor and Farm Supply, Railroad Avenue. You can call Phil at 828-429-5008. By the way, mention you heard it on Gilbert Talks Taxes. I'm hoping he'll give me a discount when I go buy my brand new shiny Massey Ferguson tractor.
We are back. Gilbert Talks Taxes, WCAB. AM 590, FM 100.9. Those of you live streaming, www.wcab59.com. Good morning. He's got a great picture here in the studio, Todd. Thank you so much for doing all my engineering. Did you file that critical message away? Good, thank you. They were scheduling a test. It was a test to tell us they were scheduling a test. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is the extra credit grant, North Carolina. And I was really glad to see this because I had a problem with this last year. Those of you may or may not have gotten your $335 from North Carolina. Okay, if you had a child under the age of 16 and under. Now, whether you had one child or 6 childrenesses, if you had, whatever the plural is of that. If you had one or many children, you only got $335, which seemed kind of unfair to me. Most of these things are done per person, but they gave the household that amount of money. Okay? And this it happened right when we were doing the extended filings in October. You know, October 15th for everybody that filed an extension. October 15th is the last day to file. So right in that time, North Carolina decides to do this by design or accidentally, but it was like during a very busy season. A lot of preparers, this went under the radar. They were not aware of this. I was aware of it, but by the time I was able to talk to any clients who didn't get the money, because quite a few people did not get this money. There was a computer glitch involving software, preparer software, and the North Carolina Department of Revenue. There was all kinds of problems. So they didn't give the money to everybody that should have gotten the money. And there was no way to go back and amend. There was no way to go back and request this money. I'm only aware of one for sure that did not get it, and there were a couple that were going to go check. But for the most part, I'm not aware of too many people that did not get this. But statewide, it was a lot of people. Okay? So, February 10th, so there was no way to reclaim it. That was it. Boom, the money went out. And because they said, because we reached out to North Carolina Department of Revenue and said, I've got a client that called me and said they haven't gotten this money. They said there's nothing you can do. It's you had to have notified us by like October 15th, but nobody knew that they were even doing this. So it was kind of like a there was nowhere you could go with it, and there was nothing you could do. So, but on February 10th of this year, they signed into law individuals who missed the original extra credit grant deadline may be eligible to receive the $335 grant payment. The new law extending the extra credit grant program through May 31st, 2021 only applies to eligible individuals who have not received the $335 grant. If you already received the $335 grant, you are not eligible under the new law. So who's eligible? North Carolina families with qualifying children who were 16 or younger at the end of 2019 who did not already receive the $335 check from the North Carolina Department of Revenue. So that was coming out as a direct deposit for people if they had your bank information, or a check for people if they didn't have your bank information. And there was nowhere to go on the website. Like, what if your bank was closed? Your bank account was closed. What if this? What if that? Whatever. There was no way on their website to make any changes or to do anything. And by the time people realized it was over, it was over. There was no way to go. But there are people that didn't even. There's people that I'm asking them about it, and they're like, "Oh, is that what that money was for?" They didn't even know, because now we're asking everybody, "Did you get your $335?" And pretty much everybody kind of remembers getting it. But I'm having people go back and check their bank accounts and whatever, because it's a small enough amount of money that it could have gone under the radar. Like, they could have thought it was a tax refund. They could have thought it was a number of things. So payments will be sent by check to eligible applicants as soon as possible. So how do you apply? Okay, I already read the eligibility. If you've got children 16 and younger and you did not receive this money the first time, okay, how do you apply? You can go to the North Carolina Department of Revenue website. That is ncdor.gov. Okay? ncdor.gov. You go there. Qualifying individuals who have not received the $335 payment may apply for it. Now, you can have a professional preparer do the application on your behalf also. All applications must be submitted online, or if they're mailed, they must be postmarked May 31st, 2021. Okay? If you did not file a 2019 individual income tax return, you can apply for it online, or you can do the mail-in application. If you filed a return, so there's a couple of tweaks to the application, because there's some different categories. If you did not file a 2019 tax return, or if you did file, okay, there's one application. If you didn't file it, there's one application. If you did file it, there's a different application. Professional preparers like myself, we are using another application. So those are one of your three options there. You should be getting that money pretty soon. They're releasing them, from what I understand. They just updated this actually yesterday, this information. But payments will be sent by check. That is how they're doing that. There is no direct deposit application yet. Now, there was a software error impacting line 10A on some individual income tax returns. So we are actually in the process of going back and looking at our software to see if that was an impact for any of our people. There was a software glitch. I'm not aware of it. That's what happened. The person that didn't get the money, they owed money, so they wrote a check so that they didn't have their banking information, and that's what we're thinking is happening there. And somehow it just didn't get picked up. But we're going to look at that. But we're looking at that. So there was a software glitch that did cause this problem. So double check if you had children 16 or younger, 2019 tax return, and you did not get this $335, you're eligible for it. And again, it's one check per family. Doesn't matter how many children. You can have 2, 3, 4. One, it's $335. Okay, but it's your money. Claim it. Okay, and you have till May 31st to do that. So, and is there anything else I'm missing on this, Todd? No, May 31st. That's it. The application's online, or you can paper file it. Okay, simple enough. Simple enough. And really, it again, there was no prerequisite there. I'm getting all kinds of texts with people with questions about this. This must be a hot topic. My phone is going off on this one. A lot of people must not have gotten it. It's if the person was your dependent. It's not about whether they were your children, just your dependent. Were they a qualifying child for purposes of the federal child tax credit in tax year 2019? So if a child qualified for you on your federal tax return for the federal child tax credit, they will qualify for this. Question is so if the child is a son, daughter, stepchild, what are some more? Eligible foster child, brother, sister, stepbrother, stepsister, and the often neglected half-brother, half-sisters. Those also are qualifying children. Or a descendant of any of them. For example, a grandchild does count. Niece, nephews, those count. Had to be 16 or younger at the end of 2019. It's always confusing when they say that, 16 or younger. Yes, if they were 17, they're not eligible. Okay, so why don't they just say it that way? If they're 17, they're not eligible. Okay, and to qualify for you on that tax return, the child can't provide over half of their own support. The child has to live with you for more than half the year. Pretty much all the regular rules that you followed when you filed your federal tax return. The child did not file a joint return, and the child was a citizen, a U.S. national, or a U.S. resident alien, just like the federal requirements. Okay, so and if you have any questions on that, shoot me an email, Gilbert@GilbertTalksTaxes.com. You can call my office, 828-289-9300. If you need help filling that out, we're not, this was so new, I don't even know what's involved yet, other than they have a mail-in application and an online application. But send us an email and see if I can help you with that. Now, if you're our clients, when you call, say I'm one of your clients, I did not get that $335, because we can pull your file up right away and see what happened there. Now, there was an income requirement at one point, but I think that was so high. And this eligibility chart is not talking about an income requirement. It's just talking about a residency requirement and a qualifying child requirement. So pretty much it's just if you had that child at that age, $335 is waiting for you. Okay, it's 8:30. Todd, let's take a much anticipated break here. This is Gilbert Talks Taxes, WCAB, AM 590, FM 100.9. I want to tell you about a little-known Rutherford County gem, Integrity Marble and Granite,
located at 287 Shiloh Road in Forest City. They are the premier stone fabrication company in the western North Carolina region. They specialize in granite, marble, and natural stone, offering complete design and installation. Their design center and Kohler showroom features vanities, decorative accessories, bathroom, and kitchen fixtures. You do not have to go to Charlotte or Asheville for this kind of quality. We have it right here in Forest City. Stop in their showroom and browse their beautiful displays, or you can call 828-247-8801 for a free quote. You can also go to their website, www.integritymarblegranite.com, and look at the pictures and see samples of their available materials. Now, mention you heard it on Gilbert Talks Taxes, and they will give you $100 off any sink purchase. That's Integrity Marble and Granite.
Put Jesse James Railroad Express on your daily lunch list. He now has daily specials. Monday, get a hot dog with mustard, chili, and onions for 99 cents. Add slaw for 45 cents. Tuesday, the Carolina Express on a regular bun, any side, 16-ounce drink, $6.99 plus tax. Thursday, chicken salad croissant, any side with regular drink, $6.99 plus tax. Friday, 2 hot dogs any way, bag of chips, 16-ounce drinks, $4.99 plus tax. A delicious lunch every day of the week. Only at Jesse James Railroad Express, open every day 11 a.m. until 4. Closed Wednesday and Sunday. Call 828-447-4644 for takeout orders. Jesse James is located 531 Railroad Avenue in Rutherford. All aboard.
All aboard. It's Gilbert Talks Taxes, WCAB AM 590 FM 100.9. Those of you live streaming, www.wcab59.com. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it very much. And those of you that tell me to listen to the program and they really enjoy it, thank you so much. I just share a day. This is an hour that I share my week and what I do. And I just really enjoy doing it. I just try to pass some information on to you. Okay, so let's keep passing some information on. The IRS has no plans whatsoever, Todd. No plans at all. Nothing, no, zip, zilch. No plans to extend the 2021 filing season nationwide. Okay, so I'll give them a week to change their mind on this because they're getting a lot of pressure. Now, I said, I'm going to read this quote, by the way, but I want to go back to what I said last year when they extended tax season. I can't think of one person that helped. And all it did was create an incredible amount of confusion. I said it here on the radio. Todd is nodding his head in an affirmative yes. He remembers all of this because he listens to the program. And I said, all this did is the people that always call me April 13th and say, can you file an extension for me? Those are because okay, so let me remind everybody what I'm talking about. So last year, because of the China virus, they extended filing season officially. Official last day to file is April 15th. Every American knows that. It is on my logo. Okay, April 15th filing day. That is it. It doesn't get any more clear than that. Unless it falls on a Friday. Unless it falls on a holiday, a Friday or Monday holiday, or it falls on a weekend, Saturday or Sunday. And then it gets extended to the next day. So if it falls on a Saturday, we do it on Monday. If it falls on a Sunday, we do it on Monday, whatever that date is, okay? But it's April 15th, okay, barring a weekend and a holiday. So last year, somebody over there at the IRS got the bright idea, let's just extend this thing to July 15th. Why July? It's just a date they picked. I said, this is going to cause an incredible amount of confusion. Just let everybody, just extend everybody. Every taxpayer gets an automatic 6-month extension. Just do that across the board. Just make it automatic. Now, business tax returns were still due March 15th because the official start of the China virus pandemic was March 13th. That's when President Trump declared it a national emergency. It is the first time in our history that all 50 states were declared a disaster, a federally declared disaster area, disaster zone. It's the first time ever, all 50 states at the same time were declared a disaster zone. So President did that, and that kicked a lot of stuff into effect. We still had to have business tax returns in by March 15th, and we did, or we extended them to September 15th. One or the other happened. Okay, so then right in there, they said, well, let's extend April 15th because people are quarantined, they're at home, they can't get to their tax preparers, we're in a national lockdown, whatever. Let's extend it. I said, just make it, just boom, everybody, October 15th. You start changing these dates in people's minds, it creates an incredible amount of confusion. Everybody knows April 15th, everybody knows October 15th. That's it. You get a 6-month extension, okay? Extending it 3 months isn't going to help anybody. And well, at first they're going to extend it 2 months, then 3 months, then, and that was confusing. So they finally said, okay, July 15th, it's extended. So all the people that called me on April 12th were the exact same people that called me July 12th and said, can you extend me till October? It was the exact same, because we have a list. Okay, we know who they are. And it's fine. And a lot of them, it's because of their business, the way their business operates. They're just not going to be ready by April 15th. A lot of them, spring is a very busy time. My landscapers, my roofers, my, all the different trades that are involved. I mean, spring is just a crazy time for them. Taxes is not the only thing on their mind. So a lot of them just say, look, can we just extend, and let's just talk about this when things kind of settle down a little bit, in towards the end of summer. Great, no problem. That's why that's in the law for people like that. So it's not that they're slack or anything. Although, I mean, some people are. Some people just are procrastinators, right? But a lot of them, it's just the way it is. So it didn't help. I cannot think of one person that it helped. And we do a lot of tax returns. And it's really funny because a lot of those people that call you April 12th are the ones that are showing up around October 12th to get it done by October 15th. But so I said, this is going to help nobody. So this year, politicians are already, there was a group of them urging the IRS to extend it. Okay? So this is what the IRS said. This is here tax notes from IRS.gov. IRS has no plans to extend the 2021 filing season nationwide. During a February 23rd hearing on IRS oversight by the House Appropriations Committee, Financial Services, and General Government Subcommittee, that's quite a title there, House Appropriations Committee, Financial Services, and General Government Subcommittee. Okay, so they had a hearing February 23rd. IRS Commissioner Charles Reddick said he does not see a need to extend the 2021 filing deadline nationally, but is still considering it. Reddick said that extending the filing season creates a lot of confusion for the taxpayers and backs up the IRS. Individuals can still get a filing extension to October 15th. Thank you, Charles. He must listen to Gilbert Talks Taxes. He's probably tuned in right now. Charles, good job. But he's still considering it. That's the part that got me a little like, okay, this is still on the table. I wanted to hear like an affirmative no, but he has no plans right now to do it. So I was but I was just glad to hear him say it creates a lot of confusion and it backs up, meaning they were backed up, the IRS. But as of right now, folks, you heard it right here on Gilbert Talks Taxes, the filing deadline as of today is still April 15th. Okay, so don't start planning to not come see me. Okay, now if you think you're not going to be ready or whatever's going on, go ahead and file an extension. You can do it now. I've already filed extensions for people. There's a group of people that we know are going to file extensions. It's free. There's no fee for filing an extension. You just do it and just get it over with. Okay, so you file an extension but hey, you were able to pull it together before April 15th. Great, you can still file your tax return. You know, I've always favored automatic extensions. Just let it be an automatic extension, but they don't want to do that, and I can see why. It would just a whole bunch more people would procrastinate. Now remember this: an extension to file is not an extension to pay. If you owe money, the money is still due April 15th. It is not an extension to pay. What happens is, if you know you owe money, you know you're going to have a reasonable idea how much you're going to owe, you're supposed to go ahead and pay it. Okay? By April 15th, you can just send it in, and it gets posted to your account, and then when you file the tax return, it's just there for you as money paid in, just like you're withholding from your W-2 or your estimated tax payments. It's just another estimated tax payment that sits on your account. Okay? But if you're short, there is a penalty and there is interest. So if you don't pay anything, there's penalty and there's interest. If you paid too much, you just get it back as a refund. So I have a group of people, again, that because of their businesses, and they know pretty much where they're going to be, they have an idea, so I can roughly calculate, hey, you need to send them this much money, and they'll go ahead and do it. They'll send an estimated tax payment. But it is not an extension to pay. There is no extension to pay. Okay? Now, if you have reasonable cause for not paying the money, you can get a waiver of the penalty. That's a whole other topic. That's a whole other program. But there is a way to request. There's actually a one-time penalty waiver just because. And then there's other penalty waivers for due cause, you know, for different things that happen. Okay. So, but if you know now, just go ahead and extend. I'm not going to be able to do it. I'm going to be whatever, out of the country, out of town, out of the office, whatever. Just go ahead and do it. File it. Get it over with. Okay. Speaking of extensions, victims of Texas winter storm. That was quite a brutal storm that hit Texas. Totally unexpected. And it was very serious for them down there. I've actually got some clients in Texas. They were, it was quite shocking to them, is the word I keep hearing from our people. Anyway, victims of this month's winter storms in Texas will have until June 15th to file various individual and business tax returns and make tax payments, the IRS announced. So there's an example of a federally declared disaster. They're just giving them an automatic extension of all different kinds of taxes till June 15th. Following the recent disaster declaration issued by FEMA, Federal Emergency Management, the IRS is providing this relief to the entire state of Texas. But taxpayers in other states impacted by these winter storms can receive similar FEMA disaster declarations. Similar FEMA disaster declarations will automatically receive the same filing and payment relief. So this is on a form on the tax return that you file when you file your tax return, and you'll get this relief. Okay, now there is a list of eligible localities. You can go to the disaster relief page at irs.gov. Remember, irs.gov, G-O-V. Do not go to any other website. They are not official websites. Okay. So we talked about that. We talked about that. Now, Todd, are we close enough to take a break here?
Yeah.
Let's take a quick break here so I can get a quick drink. Well, let me finish this section with this real quick. So I'm getting a lot of phone calls about the new stimulus. Okay, we don't have a new stimulus yet. There is no new stimulus. Nothing's been signed. They voted. I mean, I've been so busy I haven't even been able to follow this. They voted to vote. It was one of those meetings. Was that yesterday, Todd, or the day before? They approved. The stimulus has been approved. Or they approved that they're going to do a stimulus.
It's got to pass the Senate.
Okay, so this sent it on to the Senate. So they voted to pass it on to the Senate. That was the House did that? See, I'm until I see the law, it's really not much for me to talk about, because there's not much to talk about. It's just a bunch of speculation. So they sent it to the Senate, and it looks like it'll be approved at the Senate level, is what I'm understanding. Yeah, pretty much that's it. That's the football that got passed. So they're saying it's going to happen before March 15th. Is what they're saying. Okay, that's all going to be for this year. That's not going to be retro to last year. It's not going to have that kind of an impact that we are aware of. So there's some things with this law that we are going to be following. From the initial stuff I'm seeing, they're just expanding some credits. And is the stimulus still a $1,400 stimulus for every individual in the package? That is okay, because there was talk that they were going to change that. There were people pushing for more, people pushing for less. So we're at $1,400. Okay, well, we will, as soon as that is law and we get our guidance and our resources in place, we will be here to inform you about that. But people are calling, it is not law as of last night, because our various associations are sending us information and telling us that as of right now, there's nothing we need to do. The anticipation is it's going to be before the 15th. We're going to have final guidance. So they're saying it's going to take a couple of weeks to for the information to trickle on down to us. But as soon as we get it, I will pass it on to everybody. Okay, now let's take that break. This is Gilbert Talks Taxes, AM 590, FM 100.9.
Hi there, this is Kimberly, and I'm here to tell you about Peterson's Auto Service and Detail Shop. As a woman, I'm often apprehensive about taking my car to a dirty service garage. But you can be assured that Peterson's, located at 478 Butler Road, Forest City, has an incredibly clean and safe environment where you get high-quality service at a great price. Peterson's was voted Rutherford County's best auto service 3 years in a row. So take your car to Peterson's for brakes, oil change, North Carolina inspection, tire rotation, headlight lens restoration, scratch removal, and meticulous auto detailing. That's Peterson's at 478 Butler Road, Forest City. You can call him for an appointment at 245-8889.
This is Gilbert. If you owe the IRS past due taxes, don't call those toll-free national numbers. Local, affordable help is right here in Rutherford County. Stop garnishments, levies, and liens. Call Gilbert Carmona at 828-289-9300. All initial consultations are free. Call Gilbert, 828-289-9300.
We are back. This is Gilbert Talks Taxes, WCAB, AM 590, FM 100.9. Todd and I were just talking. What happens is I only deal with law. What is law? Where is it? And for those of you that have sent me emails, if I haven't responded to you, please be patient with poor Gilbert. Gilbert has 63 emails as of last night that I haven't even opened. They're just there. It's just they come in so fast and things come in and there's just a lot of speculation. And, you can tax plan on speculation and you can do what ifs on speculation. And we do that a lot. This reminds me so much of Obamacare. It had such an impact. I remember sitting in board meetings and talking to, high-level executives of corporations saying to me, what do we do? And I was like, we don't know, because we don't know what the law is until we actually saw the law. And I remember one man said to me, he goes, he just called me and just was having a casual conversation with me about it. And he goes, I just paid an attorney a bunch of money to give me the same answer you gave me because I should have called you first. I said, well, I'm glad to oblige you there, but it is what it is. If you don't have a law, you don't know. And you can read the law, but you know what happens when it gets in the Senate? They're going to tag on their whatever, and it could potentially change a lot. Potentially. I don't know, and you don't know. So I don't want to give advice out. That's bad advice. Okay. So, talking about senators and congressmen and that, a lot of you have gotten letters from the IRS that have just been wrong recently, saying you owe money, you don't owe money. A lot of people got letters saying they hadn't filed tax returns when in fact they did file tax returns. I got a letter. Yours truly, Gilbert Carmona, the enrolled agent, got a letter from the IRS saying I didn't file my 2019 tax return. Folks, my tax return was filed, okay? My tax return was actually ready to be filed in January. I called the IRS and said, hi, well, let me start the conversation by telling you I'm an enrolled agent. And I got this letter, and the man said, well, hold on a second. He looked it up, and he goes, no, we got your tax return. Disregard the letter. So this has actually been a major problem. So 2 senior House tax writers are urging the IRS to add customer service assistance to deal with a surge of unanswered taxpayer return filing season phone calls and to stop sending erroneous notices. So 2 congressmen have asked the IRS to stop sending erroneous notices. I'm glad because, we tell them, but they don't listen to us. Maybe they'll listen to the congressman. IRS phone call volumes have tripled since the same time last year, and their volume last year was high because of the China virus. They were buried with what do we do, while only 25% of the taxpayers are getting through, according to the House Ways and Means Committee's they did a status report of the 2021 filing season. 6 million taxpayers called the IRS, and that's 6 million taxpayer calls were answered. That's 25%. 6 million. That's 24 million phone calls to them. They only answered 25%. That's 6 million. 3.4 million of those were directed to automated messages. Okay, and the Ways and Means chair, which is, and actually the interesting thing about it is these are both Democrats. Richard Neal, Democrat from Massachusetts, and Bill Pascrell, Democrat congressman from New Jersey. They're on the Oversight Committee. Both of them wrote a letter February 19th to the commissioner, Charles Reddick, and complaining to him about the erroneous notices and the unanswered phone calls. I mean, I'm holding on the phone, and I've got special numbers that I call. As a practitioner, there's a practitioner number that we call, and we don't get any preferential treatment. It's just a special phone number. You're supposed to have certain numbers that they'll ask you when they pick up the phone, and if you don't, they will hang up on you. So we have, and our hold times are ridiculous. I was on the phone for 2.5 hours on a case yesterday, and most of that's hold time, listening to IRS music on hold. So I was kind of glad to hear this, but if you've got a problem and you've got to call the IRS, just be prepared for a very, very long hold time. And all I can tell you is God bless you for doing that. You can try writing a letter, but that doesn't seem to be getting through any faster. Okay, I'm going to talk about some late-breaking information here. Late-breaking information, Todd. I was not going to get into this today. But Todd encouraged me that I need to talk about it. Okay, PPP, Payroll Protection Payments, right? Payroll Protection Payments. Federal government gave small businesses money for free if they used it to keep employees on staff, their buildings open, utilities on, so they could stay in business. They got this money. Okay, it's free. Now, you remember early on, the IRS, because of accounting rules and regulations involving how accounting is done, if you get a loan and it's forgiven, technically that loan is income. So either you post it as income or you don't get to write off the expenses that you paid off with that money, because that's considered double dipping. Okay, you were forgiven and you got to write off the expenses, so you've now double dipped and you didn't pay taxes on it. So early on, the IRS told Congress, you're going to have to change the law. It's a law thing. It's not that we don't want to do it, because Congress said that money is supposed to be tax-free money to the people because of the China virus and the shutdown that we've basically forced on them. Okay, by law, we made them do the shutdown. So the IRS went back to the table, and Congress went back to the table. They met and they changed the law. so that the money was. But as of October, November, we were still worried that this money was going to be taxable. And it looked like it was going to be taxable. And that's a big chunk of money. That's $50,000 that now all of a sudden is taxable. But the worst part was you thought it was free. And then they're saying, no, it's taxable. So you're in a 30% tax rate. You're paying back a lot of money. And that's when I coined the phrase, the only free cheese is in a trap. That was, remember, Todd? That's when I came up with that phrase. Because of that, I kept saying, the only free cheese is in a trap. And this feels like a trap. Well, they went back and changed it. And we were just happy about that, because this was a big deal. And especially for small business people. I mean, there are small business people who probably are still going to end up going out of business in spite of getting this money, because it's been insurmountable. It's been incredible, and just lockdown after lockdown, and the things our governor's done. But anyway, okay, so now I just read a February 22nd release from the North Carolina Department of Revenue. North Carolina is taxing payroll protection program money. Okay? And they're not the only state doing it. By the way, now Tennessee's not doing it, because I went to all the states that I have to do with where I have a lot of people. California, of course, is doing it. I've got people in California. I do California tax returns. They're doing it. New York's doing it. But South Carolina's not doing it. Tennessee's not doing it. Florida's not doing it. I want to say Georgia's not doing it. But I need to confirm that, though. So it's about 50-50 states that are doing it, which, did they not get the point? The point is this was supposed to help small business. Somewhere they didn't get the memo. I mean, this is supposed to help small business. So North Carolina. So I sent a bunch of texts out to my friends in the business, and I'm getting texts back from them that at this point, yes. Now there is a bill that has not been introduced, but is getting ready to be introduced, and I'm going to call some of our NC legislatures this week and encourage them to pass this bill that will change it so that they follow the IRS. But they're not going to meet until July to go over that bill, because I guess they're not in session right now. So when they meet, they're going to decide. Because what they said in October, what North Carolina Department of Revenue said in October, is we will follow the IRS. That's on their website. We will follow the IRS. At that time, the IRS was taxing it. So they're like, great, this is great. We're going to follow the IRS. We're going to tax it. So not only were you going to be taxed at the federal level, you were going to be taxed at the state level. And everybody was happy till the IRS changed it and said, well, we're not going to do that. That's, Congress went ahead, and Congress went ahead and passed a law. Fantastic that they did that. I was thrilled to see them do that. So North Carolina now is not following the IRS. They're still going on with their plan to tax this PPP money. And again, it's not that it's, for some people, it may not be a lot of money. It's 5%. North Carolina tax rate is 5.25%. So it's 5.25%, but it's this isn't like people made this money. This was free money from the government, intended to be free, intended to be used to keep their businesses open, and now you're going to take 5.25% of that from them. That just, I don't know, something about this is just not bothering. So what do we do at this point? So at this point, I mean, we're preparing the returns as is, and we're going to have people either make estimated tax payments or we're going to extend them. That's the only thing. If you've had PPP that's been forgiven, you need to be aware of that. And this is PPP that's been forgiven. If you plan on paying your PPP back, which some people are, I guess they just borrowed it and they never really used it, or they didn't qualify, or a part of it wasn't qualified, you don't have to worry about that money if you're paying it back. And the part about it that just is really shocking to me, the other part that's shocking, because the whole thing was shocking, is that, okay, so let's say you didn't get it forgiven in 2020, but did you reasonably expect it to be forgiven? Well, that's as good as it being forgiven. So you owe tax on it. I'm going to keep you posted on this. This is a pretty serious matter going forward. If you need me, give me a phone call, 828-289-9300. You can always reach me at gilbert@gilberttalkstaxes.com. Please be patient. I am a little backed up. This has been Gilbert Talks Taxes. I will be back next Saturday at 8 a.m. WCAB, AM 590, FM 100.
No silly giggling.